What's up guys, it's Frank Schaefer. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can invest $1,000 in 2020. Let's hop right into it. The first thing you can do with your $1,000 is pay down your debt. Now I know it might not be the most fun thing to spend your $1,000 paying down debt, but it's extremely important. Having debt is the exact opposite of what you want. It's essentially just compound interest, but it's working to steal money from you instead of growing for you. I recommend that you start and you pay off any debt that has an interest rate of about 5% or more, because that's similar to the return you could be getting on investments. So anything above that is essentially just stealing money from you. Some financial experts recommend paying down your debt in a snowballing effect, which means you essentially pay down your lowest debt first, your lowest interest rate debt. So for example, if I had 3 different credit cards, each at a percent of 12, 14, and 25%, financial experts would recommend that I pay down that 12% interest rate credit card first because it's the lowest. I completely disagree with the snowball effect, and instead I think you should pay off the highest interest rate debt you have first, because the higher the interest rate, the more money that interest grows to every month and the more it's stealing from you. So the more you're losing your money because of that high interest rate debt, which is why I think you should pay that off first. There is some merit to the snowball effect, and if you think that you're going to be able to stay the course and pay down your debt faster if you pay down the lowest interest rate first to give you a morale boost, then by all means go ahead and do that. But I completely recommend paying the highest interest rate debt first, because that allows you to get the most bang for your buck. The second thing you can do with that $1,000 is invest it into your emergency fund. Now, an emergency fund is a very important thing to have, because you never know when something might happen and you need that money just to pay an expense, a medical bill, a car bill, or whatever. So I recommend that as soon as you have your debt paid off, you have at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses in your emergency fund. Because you need your emergency fund to be liquid and not lose a ton of value when the market dips, you generally don't put it in the stock market. But you also don't want to be subject to no growth and have your money lose value over time because it can't keep up with inflation. So what's the thing to do? Invest it in a high yield savings account. Personally, I got tired of making like 1 or 2 pennies every year on my interest rate of like 0.01% at my normal bank. So instead, I put my money in a Discover high yield savings account that earns about 1.8% APR, which is so much better than 0.01%. I did the math, and if you put, $1,000 in my normal bank savings account, which offered a 0.01% interest rate, after 10 years you made like 10, not even, no. After 10 years you made $1. You're $1. But if you put $1,000 in Discover's high yield savings account for 10 years at a 1.8% interest rate, you walk away with $197.06 after the 10 years is up, which is astronomically better than $1. Since I invested my emergency fund into my Discover high yield savings account last month, I already made over like $2.50, which would have taken me like 25 years to earn in my normal savings account, which is embarrassing. Since emergency funds are so crucial to have as part of being financially stable, recommend that you put it into a high yield savings account so you can keep your money growing at least on pace with inflation instead of losing out on potential gains as it sits there earning 0.01% interest over time. My third and my favorite way that you can invest your $1,000 in 2020 is to invest in index funds. Now, index funds have been all the hype lately. You've probably heard about them, but there's a good reason for it. Investing in index funds is the best way to see your money grow like crazy over time. They have extremely low expense ratios compared to other investments like mutual funds from popular brokerages, which charge like 1% expense ratio per year, which means that every year you lose 1% of your gains, which compounds over time to be an extremely high amount. We're talking like thousands of dollars over the course of a lifetime, hundreds of thousands even. There have been many scholarly reviews of index funds using methods of back testing where they test the use of index funds over long periods of time throughout history. And in about 98% of cases, index funds came out with a better return than any other investment or people trying to beat the market on a year-to-year basis. You might beat the market for 1 or 2 years, but it's doubtful that you will be able to beat the market for more than like 10 years. That's why index funds are so amazing, because instead of trying to beat the market and failing, you can at least match the growth of the market over time, which is about 8 to 10%. Index funds are my favorite because you can invest your money and essentially just leave it there and forget about it. You don't have to actively do research or manage your investments. You just invest your money in the account and let your money do your work for you. My personal recommendation is to invest in total stock market index funds. I recommend this because total stock market index funds have high level of diversity since each fund owns thousands of stocks within them. In total stock market index funds, you have diversification by company size, by sector, and each of these companies within the index fund are competing to just grow their company, and the ones that don't grow are essentially wiped out of the index fund because their market capitalization is so low. With that said, my recommendation for total stock market indexes, personally, I use Vanguard. My favorite is VTSAX, which is Vanguard's total stock market admiral shares in the United States, which owns almost every single publicly traded company in the United States right now. I also recommend VTIAX, which is the World Index Fund. Ultimately, whatever index fund you invest in, I don't care. Just get your money in an index fund today. Index funds are just such a great option with extremely low expense ratios that save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a lifetime. They're diversified, they're easy, they're the lazy man's way, which is exactly what I want. Whatever way you invest your $1,000, investing $1,000 is the perfect way to make progress towards your financial future, whether that's paying down your debt, investing in index funds, or investing in your emergency fund in a high yield savings account. $1,000 can make a huge difference over time. With that said, guys, that was 3 ways you can invest your money in 2020. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Share this with someone you know and leave a comment down below. Go ahead and comment your favorite index fund if you already know any. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.